Don't give a fuck how many valid points that German woman had or if she was right or wrong. She don't get a chance to speak on black women, black love, black marriages, and black anything.
Oh yes, I do, because I am proudly married to a black American man, and while I lived in America, I have seen a lot of women way too entitled, with a bad attitude, with a foul mouth, disrespectful, and sometimes it even seemed like they don't want a black man to find happiness or even for him to have a smile on his face. Now you may wonder why I would say that, because I know women have a problem to congratulate a man. They rather hate whatever he achieves, and then they would act like, oh, I don't care if that man dates someone else. I don't care if that man dates somebody from Europe. I don't care. He can go ahead and do what he wants. We don't want him anyway. Well, if you don't care, why are so many of them getting mad? I don't understand that part. But before we get into today's video, everyone, I would like to thank you so much for subscribing to my channel, because we finally hit 13,000 subscribers. So thank you all so much for the support. I know you are here for a reason. I know my ladies want to learn. So thank you so much for my ladies showing up in the comments, in my DMs on Instagram. So thank you all for being here. I appreciate you guys. So let's get into today's video. I am not going to talk about the video that had went viral months ago, but I'm going to talk about the woman's attitude and her choice of words. Let's get into it, everyone.
And this is coming from a black woman that's been with her black husband for 15 years. And I ride for black men. You understand what I'm saying? The problem is...
Yes, I understand. And what is the problem? The fact that there always has to be a problem is a problem within itself. I mean, why do things, circumstances, and situations need a constant explanation for everything? I mean, why can't things just be, right? Why can't we just accept the fact that there are women who want to work with a man, who put a smile on the man's face, and they don't ask for anything in return? Why do we always have to talk about problems? There are always going to be problems. If we are waiting for all problems to have a solution, we're always going to be alone and miserable. But if there's something that I can do better today, each and every day, even if it's just a little thing, by packing a man's lunch or picking him up or picking something up for him, that's what counts right now. I don't need no explanation. I don't need a problem to be solved. I don't need any of that.
Black men and black women are failing each other. We're not hearing each other. We're not loving each other. We're not respecting each other. It's too much trauma. And what's happening is we're starting to look at other races as though they are our savior. You're my savior, a white man or a white woman. And all. Don't you see what the fuck is happening?
But that lady is using way too many fucks in her speech. And did she ever wonder why it may be that black women and black men seem to fail each other and don't hear each other? I don't think it has anything to do with any trauma. I believe it has more something to do with it that women don't want to be told anything. Their ego flew over their head. It's way too big for their own good. Unless he's a real man, you can't tell a woman nothing. Unless he is the real man, he can't do nothing for her. She can have and do everything on her own. But this is my humble opinion. If a woman is not able to listen to a woman like myself, she is never going to listen to a man. If we cannot talk amongst one another, a woman will never be in a position to talk to a man. I'm sorry that this is a conversation on a whole different level, which I'm going to have to make a whole different video about. But unfortunately, a lot of women have messed up mouths and attitudes.
Women need men.
No! No. Of course not. No. Fuck no.
No.
Why?
Can't live with them, can't live without them.
We do not need them. Not at all.
No. We the prize.
A little bit, but not really. We want them, but don't need them, baby. Hell no. Hell no. Hell no.
No. We the new niggas.
We are the men these days, though. We are the men.
So what can you possibly tell a woman with this type of attitude? I mean, would you be surprised that men are actually running off to find a woman that is a tad bit more feminine? And it really doesn't take much to be more feminine than the ladies that you have just seen in your clip. So I really can't blame these men. And you know what actually happens when a woman says that she doesn't need a man, that she just has one when she wants one? That means that she is running around the streets, she is out there in them streets, and she's going to spread her legs whenever she feels like she wants to have a man. That is not feminine within itself. A woman is not supposed to run around and give herself away to a man whenever she wants to. Every time a woman gives access to random men just because she feels like she wants to have a man at that moment is losing a part of her femininity. Ladies, that is not ladylike. And you know what? These women are always talking about being traumatized. Sleeping around with multiple men is actually a way to get traumatized, but you will not notice it in that moment. The trauma will come out a lot later. And ladies, the only thing that you will gain when you're sleeping around with random men are bodies that you could add onto your body count list in your whole pad. And that is all. Nothing more, nothing less.
What the fuck is happening? She has not walked a mile in a black woman's shoes. She has not seen what a black woman have seen. She has not experienced the trauma that a black woman experienced. That's the same thing with white men. White men have not walked a mile in black men's shoes. You understand what I'm saying? They are not out here being racially profiled. So for black people, black women and black men to look at that and say, well, she right. She had valid points. I don't give a fuck how many valid points she had. You still got black women out here like myself that's pushing black love, that's telling you, hey, this is how you do it. Now, some women might get it and some women might not. The same thing. We need more black men that's in love with black women, that respects black women, that protects black women to step up and say, yo, this shit that we seeing online, this shit ain't real because we still out here. You understand what I'm saying? Ain't nobody white gonna be able to tell me anything about my own people.
You need black men to love black women. I would say that I need modern Western women to start respecting an average working class man before we are talking about loving one another, because love is a result coming from respect. And in my opinion, I don't need to walk in the shoes of a black woman in order to know how to love a man. It took me 2 months in America to realize, maybe even shorter than 2 months, that there is a lack of respect and a lack of love, a lack of feminine energy. I provided those 3 things. That's all I've did. I have not even done anything special. But if a person has a problem loving themselves, they will never be able to be in a position to love someone else. And that is so true. I'm not going to say that I knew everything about spirituality when I was 18 years old, the time when I met my husband, back then boyfriend. I'm just saying, but I was in the position of learning. I was in the position of wanting to grow with my husband. I was in the position of giving him what I was able to observe he didn't really have. And this is the truth, because so many people in the comments, they actually told me that I was right. And I am not talking about all women in America. I know ladies in the comments, I know there are fabulous women on my channel who are thinking like me and who are acting like me. Not everyone is out here talking about that they don't need men. But if you don't make a man feel like he is needed, what is that man gonna want to stick around for? Women like myself are here trying to give advice to women how they can improve as women on how to do better for themselves and for their partner, even for their future partner. But in order for that to happen, us as individuals have to admit that we have flaws. We have to admit that we don't say the right or do the right thing all of the time. And the moment you notice and you acknowledge and accept the fact that you need to learn to do better, that's the first step to improvement. The moment you understand that there is somebody else, even if I don't look like you, but if I have the experience, why not want to learn from another person? I know I would. I wouldn't judge where they're from. I wouldn't judge what they said. I would sit back and think, does that make sense what she says? If so, I'm willing to learn.
So no one can question black women. No one can correct black women. No one can offer information and advice to black women. Nobody.
Apologize for the lighting and the sound. I keep seeing this, this video, this German woman keep popping up all over social media, all over TikTok, and people responding to it. And, the responses that she's getting is what I'm more interested in. And as you just saw, the young lady that responded to her in the first clip, I would just have to say, like, what type of knowledge what type of knowledge can you gain from that type of mindset? I was always been a firm believer in, sometimes we could be so close to something you cannot see the bigger picture of it, because it's right here in our face all the damn time. Like, you can't It's hard to discern something when you're just right up against it. It's not until you kind of pull things back and really get like a wide shot that you can really see what's going on. And oftentimes that comes from people that are on the outside looking in on a situation, because they're not, how do you say, invested in the same way that we are, in the sense of, not saying they don't deem it as important. It's because they're not going through, as she said, they're not going through what we going through, right? I agree with that. However, because they're not going through what we're going through, there's no emotion in their thinking. There's no emotion tied to whatever, how do you say, whatever they come to determine out of the situation. They can look at the situation rationally, logically, and make a decision. Nobody needs to walk in somebody's shoes to know something is wrong or know something is bad. I don't need to experience what you went through to know it's not okay, just for knowing that it happened.
Thanks to the Most High, there are still people who know how to use their common sense. Just by the way that these two were talking, it already seems so much more enlightening. I mean, there's a difference when you sit down and talk to somebody who is just aggressive and uses curse words all of the time, or you sit down and you're talking to people who are willing to learn, to listen, who accept other people's experiences, opinions, and everything. This young woman with her beautiful self, she sounds so much more mature than the woman who's already married for 15 years. And you tell me, who is more eligible to tell or teach a woman how to become wifey material? Would it be the woman that was just speaking earlier, the first clip, or women like myself? I would give young women advice such as following. Did you do your inner work? How do you deal with rejection? Have you ever been in a situation that tested your energy, that tested everything in you? Are you willing to cater to a man? What triggers you? If something triggers you, have you tried to dig deep and then figure out what's the reason you're triggered? Because if you are in a relationship and things are triggering you when your man says something to you, you got to do that inner work. It is not what your man has told you. It is something that you have not worked on internally yet. Those are like the things that I would run with a woman, like those steps. I would run through all of these steps with her. Women like the one from the first clip will probably say things like, oh, we're way too traumatized. If he cannot help you heal your trauma, he's just going to add more trauma onto your trauma. No. I mean, way too stressful, too stressful. The moral of today's video is following. We should not make loving someone about their skin color. Love is energy. I understand when people are talking about black love, you want to keep amongst your community. I understand that. But if you have somebody like myself, and I am not the only one, there are plenty of women like myself out there who are willing and want to teach other women how to do better for themselves. But it all starts with you. And I want to finish this video off today by reading a quote out of this book that I got today. It is by James Allen, and it is called As a Man Thinketh. It is only 25 pages, but it's packed with some deep, deep knowledge. I'm going to read it to you. His or her wishes and prayers are only gratified and answered when they harmonize with his or her thoughts and actions. That sentence is timeless, and it can be applied to so many people's lives, right? Because ladies, and I'm always going to have to say ladies because I love you and I want you to have a functioning, happy relationship. But like I said, it all starts with you. If you are wishing for that supportive man, that man that's going to carry you in his arms and give you everything that you have ever wished for and all of these good things, you have to align with your wishes. You have to be able to serve a man so you can get the things that you deserve from him. You are not going to get a man that's just going to throw everything into your hands and then you're just going to be this happy wife, happy life. That's a fairy tale. Books like these are real information. So if you don't know how to work on yourself, and if you don't know how to be kind, how to be respectful, how to be positive and flow in this high energy, you're not going to get that. I hope everyone out there really understands that I come from a place of love. I want to support, I want to empower, I want to uplift, I want to enlighten, I want to be a role model. And you know what? I'm so appreciative for all of you actually being here and taking the time out of your day and watching this video, because I have so much to tell. And please don't mind me if I use certain videos as an example. You know, I'm just doing that not to make anybody look bad. I'm just using women as an example. And I'm a woman. I cannot tell a man how to be a man. That's why you would see mainly women in my videos. So thank you everyone for watching. Thank you so much for understanding where I'm coming from. I appreciate all of you guys. Make sure you hit the like button, the subscribe button. Make sure you leave a comment. If you have some constructive criticism, I'm all here for it. And have a blessed weekend. Stay safe, everyone. And make sure you treat each other with love, respect, and all of the good.